Sitting in the corner of the tavern, you can find them, probably brooding, definitely all by themselves. The lone wolf is used to work alone, without the need of company or help from others. The solitude-seeking introverted badass works alone. In literature, lone wolves are often aloof and emotionally unable or unwilling to directly interact with other characters in the story. Often, they are the main protagonist that solves all problems by themselves, or a cool side character that swoops in from time to time and shows off how badass they are. That is why the lone wolf is a popular character concept in movies and books. Someone deeply mysterious and troubled. But there's always a but, isn't it? In D&D and other TTRPGs, this archetype can lead to a lot of problems. The nature of these games and their focus on team play stands in contrast to the essence of the lone wolf. Therefore, most people will tell you that you should avoid these character concepts entirely. Players will roll their eyes if they hear someone describing their lone wolf character, while game masters might outright ban this archetype entirely. Despite this bad reputation, I love them and the narrative possibilities they bear. I have a different opinion on how to handle and play the lone wolf and will show you an interesting approach. There are reasons why this concept is so popular in other media and even in D&D. The question shouldn't be if you should play a lone wolf, but how you can do it. And that is exactly what I will talk about in today's video. I'm mainly referring to D&D, but all my tips can be applied as easily to most other TTRPGs. But first, riddle me this. I'm hung by my crown, fleet stop when I drown. What am I? The solution to last week's riddle is Echo. The first one who got it right was Run Down. Congratulations! Now let's see what we got on the chest today. What makes the lone wolf a problematic archetype in D&D and other games to a point where most people frown upon hearing the idea of such a character? First of all, the character tends to get lost. They don't participate in group activities and usually forge fewer bonds with the party. In a game that is about playing together with a group of people, this is counterproductive. The other thing is that lone wolves are inclined to stray from the group to get into their own one-person adventures. This becomes a problem when the GM suddenly has to deal with two separate groups the whole evening. Quickly the question arises why the main party plays together with the lone wolf. They could as easily meet without them and wouldn't be worse off. Lastly, lone wolf characters tend to try to be good in everything. If they are not good at it, they try to solve the problem before them using something they are good in, completely ignoring the strength and abilities of the rest of the party, or even worse, belittling them for they are not as awesome as themselves. But why should we still try to work on enabling this archetype? What is worth putting up with it? Well, when I first started running games, I was told that TTRPGs are games where you can do anything. Today I am well aware that there are limits to this, but I'm a fan of giving players as many options as possible, so that they get the opportunity to play their dream characters. So let's try to do that. Let's address the three major problems and make sure everyone has fun playing and exploring this archetype together. The lone wolf should play with the party, not beside them. The spotlight is always on the group, and if a single character moves away from the rest for too long, it becomes a problem, as I already mentioned. We don't want the party to split whenever they interact with something. So rule number one will be, we always stay close to our group. But how can we achieve to play a lonesome character as well as being close to the party all or at least most of the time? First of all, there are some tricks that can achieve a feeling of distance without the need of going separate ways. Your character could stay on the side of the action, observing the situation and getting into action only when it's necessary. This is also very easy to apply while traveling with a group. It is you that lags behind and always keeps an eye out for danger. That makes you effectively the scout of the party with a cool twist on that role. So what do you do when you set up camp? You just pitch your tent a little further away from everyone. This gives your character some peace and quiet, but still allows all players to join the fun in case of an encounter. In general, your interactions with the others can still be plenty if you rely more on non-verbal interactions. Try to describe how you watch what another character is doing from afar, showing a hint of interest flashing in their eyes before going back to looking mysterious and unreadable as usual. If you try to throw in these positive moments and show interest in the others, your character will work a lot better with the rest of the party. The second thing we should always try to keep in mind is the motivation and reasoning of our character. You will need a good but simple explanation why your character follows the group even though you like your space. And even more important, you should think of a reason why the party needs you in their team. The reason should quickly become obvious. Thus, the lone wolf is more of a character trait that can be accepted by the others than a constant source of mistrust. This does not exclude an additional dark secret or hidden motivations. Work with the GM to integrate it into the overall story to be able to stage a later resolution better. Your GM is your best friend here. But be careful, don't expect the other players to try to uncover your secrets on their own. To avoid disappointment, it is best to hint at the secrets in-game and openly address out of game that there is more to it. Involve the other players. You don't have to reveal the secret to them, but if they know that there is more to it, it will help make them interested. Proper foreshadowing is essential if you plan on working to reveal the secrets of your backstory. Otherwise, it can happen that the moment just doesn't turn out as well as you hope, and the other players don't think it is as important as you do. Again, work with your GM. Third of all, people tend to confuse loner characters with jerks. Don't be the latter. If you're mean to everyone all the time, everyone will wonder why you're even there. To avoid this problem, it helps enormously to build a bond to one or more of the other characters. Maybe one of the other PCs reminds you of your dead brother, or maybe you share the same hobby or interests. Maybe one of the PCs reminds you of how naive you once were yourself, and you try to protect this PC from going through the same despair you once did. Through such connections you can create drama, and additionally it gives you an anchor for your character. Last but not least, I have a bonus tip for you. If you receive information relevant to the group during solo expeditions or conversations, share them. Keeping it to yourself often causes the information to get lost or can create metagaming problems. Share them, but keep your sources or the way you got them secret if you wish to feed the narrative of your elusive character. This way your character will still feel mysterious and unique without harming the group and the party's progress. As you can see, it is quite possible to make the archetype of the lone wolf interesting for D&D. If you do it right, you can create a mysterious character with depth that will increase the fun for everyone. Work with your GMs and communicate what you want to do and how it could be realized. In case of doubt, show your GM or players this video if you want to have the lone wolf in your games. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. If you made it this far, consider subscribing and ringing the bell to get advantage on never missing out on a new video. Your Dungeon Master for this video was Koroc DM, and I hope you join me in the next one.